Okay. Okay. We've got, and we've got ones that are presentations. We've got a couple of them that are Zoom meetings, but we're trying to build up that information. And the way to do that is to go to the TPC website. And on the right-hand side, there's something called resources. And I think there's 5 or 6 different types of resources that are available there. But one of them is videos that are YouTube videos. I think they're YouTube videos, aren't they, David?
Yeah, they're all, there'll be a link, and if you click it, it'll take you to YouTube, but that particular topic or whatever, monthly meeting or peer mentor meeting or TPC class, whatever.
Yeah, and there are 2 or 3 classes on there already, I think. Yeah. So that's a really nice place to go to catch up if you can't be at a meeting, or learn a little bit about it from the actual classes that we offer.
Under the resource menus, it's referred to as presentations.
Yes, presentations. That's right. Thank you, Rick. Okay, any other questions about that? Okay. Quick reminder of the challenge. The first one is kind of a funny one. You got to send me your photos for the theme by noon the day of the meeting. I got 3 of them within 5 or 10 minutes of the meeting today, which is perfectly okay. I'm glad to have them, but I really appreciate those of you who send it a little bit earlier than that. The photo can be with any type of camera, but please try to follow the guidance of the articles in the Peer Mentor Program theme articles. And here's the most important rule for tonight. Voting for the best abstract photography should reflect the theme, not necessarily your favorite photo. We always talk about that. But what makes a good abstract photo? It's interesting, the last 2 or 3, 2 at least, themes, this one it was abstract photography, the last one was black and white, really could kind of change how you see things. So let's take a look at, what did you learn from your articles? What makes an abstract an abstract? There are many suggestions, definitions of abstract photography. What does a photo have to contain or not contain for you personally to consider it an abstract photograph, or as one of the articles talks about, semi-abstract? What's important? I'm patient, I'll wait.
Well, since I'm the one who picked this theme, I'll make a comment.
Good.
I have to say, most of the things I had in my mind were, by that definition, semi-abstract. They were something real, but not something that everybody notices every day. They're not big objects, or, I almost would title them TPC, textures, patterns, and colors. I just like textures, patterns, and colors. So, but in reading some of the articles that I even, there was one definition of abstract that said it's nothing real. It shouldn't be recognizable as anything real, which I found really, I thought that was a little extreme, but that's the art world. But yeah, anyhow, I did find it that there's really, in my world now, 2 definitions of an abstract. I like the natural abstracts, but then there's really, there are no rules.
So David, when you went out this time to look for them, what did you first look for then?
Well, you know
what was the key thing that you wanted to have in that little 8 by 10?
I actually quit photographing a lot of things I had typically photographed, like tree knots and, slime mold on something. But so yeah, it was kind of interesting. I just, well, I won't say too much at this point, but a lot of the things I take out in nature that I would have considered abstract before, I decided to go to the more strict definition of it. So,
okay. What about the rest of you?
They're all going, why did David pick this?
Okay, I'll jump in. I'm glad that you did pick it, David, because it got me to take pictures of things that I'd never really taken pictures of before. And it was when I first started it, just the beginning of March was when there was kind of crummy weather outside. So I ended up taking a lot of pictures inside of my house. And I found it really fun. The key thing for me was don't have anything within the photograph that takes the viewer away from what you want them to look at. That makes any sense. And I mean, I can use that for all kinds of other photography, but that was the key about abstract was don't have any nasty things that are there that are going to drag people's eye away.
That's really interesting, Randy, that you said that, because if you look at a lot of abstract photography, there is no subject.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm looking online. What is abstract art? I mean, it said it's art that's the kind that emphasizes the use of non-representational forms to create meaning in reality. And I thought, not sure how I get reality out of some of it. Consider the use of lines, shapes, and colors in the works of famous abstract artists, Vasily Kandinsky, Jackson Pollock, Pablo Picasso, blah, blah, blah. You realize that meaning can be conveyed through the use of these elements as well. So anyway, that's the artist's view.
But see, that's fine, but you don't want something inside of that photo that really doesn't, that takes the eye away from what you want people to look at. Yeah, like landscape photography, let me change it. So, and it's not about abstract photography, but landscape photography, I learned early on that, those brushes on the side or this garbage or whatever, you don't want that in the picture. That takes the viewer away. In abstract photography, that becomes even more important, I think, is not to have any.
Yeah, I think also, Randy, it's, you don't want anything that's going to identify what it is by size or by something else. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you need to pick your subject out pretty specifically in abstract. And, you know, if it's a macro, you don't want something next to it that says, oh, well, now I know how big it is, so now I know what it is type thing.
Right, exactly. Okay, anything else? Okay, here's what I got of the 2 or 3 different articles I read that came out as the important ones. That good abstract photography has a simplicity, it eliminates distractions. It isolates a slice of life that includes eliminating distractions, but it really focuses your eyes on something. Shapes are important and much more than subjects. You don't even know sometimes what the subjects are. This was an important one for me. When you take that picture, it's like, what is that? The very best abstract photographs, I think, gets me to think, what is that? And eventually I may be able to figure it out. And through these articles, they had some things about what's likely to work. Macro is a good one, close-ups of people, long exposure shadows, close landscapes, stuff like that. When you started looking for abstract photographs, what were the key elements that you tried to find?
You know, I got to say, number one really throws me that you threw up there. I mean, make a clear point of interest. That seems the very opposite of everything else I read about abstract photography.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, me too.
Because that was
isolate something. Yeah,
that was, I forget what the name of that article was. It was on Photography Life, and that was one of the first things they said.
I mean, look at a Jackson Pollock and tell me where there's a clear point of interest.
Can't help you out with that. I'm not very good at artwork.
Well, he's from Wyoming. Which is tough.
But I'm not from Wyoming.
Seriously?
Yeah, Jackson Pollock's from Wyoming.
Didn't know that either.
So is Harry Jackson.
Wow. Okay.
Anything else? Then I'm going to show you some pictures and we're going to talk about what to look for. Are these actually abstract? I didn't get a whole bunch of not quite great photos, but I got a few. So informational feedback. Here's what we typically look for, but it's going to be a little different now. Okay, here's our first picture. What makes an abstract photograph an abstract? Is this an abstract photograph? Or is there a problem with it?
Not to me. It tells you it's Jeep.
I don't think it isn't to me either.
So, Sue, you said it because it's a Jeep. Does that make it better?
Well, I mean, the fact that it says, I thought one of the elements of an abstract, if it's non-representational, that doesn't work because it spells out to you very clearly what it is.
Yep, that's why I picked these two. The one on the left-hand side was a picture that I picked and then, oh yeah, I shouldn't call it a Jeep. So I thought that was a good example of take out that things that takes away from it. Okay, here's 3 similar images. Are they abstract photographs? Why or why not? Which one is better? Which one is not so good? Sorry that one of them got Randy Isaacson 2020 in it.
You know what, if you ask me, I would say the only one that's an abstract is the one on the lower left.
Lower left.
Because you just don't, you have to think about what it is. It's not obvious.
But then on the other hand, if you look at that one on the top right and kind of squint your eyes, those white blotches are kind of shapes, and that gets more abstract to me, although it's a leaf. But the one on the top left is like a macro shot with limited depth of field. I don't think that's abstract. That's just, no. But does anybody else look at that one on the top right and see those white shapes?
You know, Charlotte, if it was processed where you didn't see all the detail in the leaves, I would then tend to agree with you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But as soon as I see the leaves, I go, okay, it's a kind of a macro shot of a plant from the bottom.
So for it to be abstract, it has to be, you don't know what it is.
At least not immediately.
What it is, but it's not what it is not the most important thing about the picture. At least it's very hard to describe, isn't it? I mean, what an abstract photograph is, it's really tough.
And I think it's different from person to person.
Probably.
Because I like the one in the upper right-hand corner because of the white.
I'm sorry, I just started laughing. There's a joke about pornography that goes, I can't describe it, but I know it when I see it. This is sort of the opposite.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how to describe it, but I know what it's not. So, sorry.
Okay, here's, any other comments about this? So from what people said about this, it's important that you don't know what it is, right?
Or it's not obvious.
Yeah, maybe not immediately.
Yeah. That you have to ask yourself what it is.
Right.
Okay.
Or do you care?
Is this abstract, semi-abstract, or just plain close up?
I don't think it's abstract.
Mostly close up, just a close up of something.
Yeah, I would say those are close-ups.
What the rest of you think? We got 2 or 3 people have said something about it.
Close up for sure.
Okay. What about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, now we're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, particularly the lower right.
Yeah, particularly that one. Right. I agree.
Why the lower right?
It's non-representational.
Yeah, it's more about the colors and the shapes than it is what they are. What they are isn't important.
So it doesn't make you think of anything. It's just a random color. Colors.
Colors and shapes.
Yeah, but it does, I think, at least for me, kind of ask the question, what are you looking at? Just because I can't answer the question, that's okay.
All right. It's very artsy.
Yep.
For a lack of a better word. What about the one on the left?
It's, yeah, I think it sort of falls in there, but you immediately start thinking, well, it's some object I recognize, but I'm not 100% sure what it is.
It's an object you recognize?
Well, no, I'm like, I could take some really good guesses at it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like you as a group have a pretty clear a line to cross to make something abstract. And if you can figure out what it is, then it isn't abstract, right?
I don't necessarily agree. I mean, I think the one on the left is abstract. I mean, you might be able to figure out what it is, but you're not seeing what it actually is. That makes sense.
Yeah, I maybe I didn't state that correctly, but what was the other term you had, Randy? Is it natural? Huh?
Semi-abstract?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Somehow the one on the left doesn't look flat enough. The shapes look like they're receding at the bottom. And so I'm getting the feeling I'm looking at an object, not that I'm looking at an abstract of shapes.
Okay.
Anybody else feel that way about it? I mean,
right.
Because I feel like it's glass that's receding.
Yeah. I agree. I don't know what it is. I just know it's a man-made object for sure.
But I agree with David. It's kind of semi-abstract.
But if it's abstract, the lower half of or third of the photograph is kind of weak in having, it doesn't have strong forms like the top does.
Right.
Well, I was thinking kind of the other way around because the top ones aren't in focus like the bottom ones are.
Right.
This is really interesting because we are very different in terms of kind of the rules that we have in our mind, what makes abstract. Yes. And now, if you went back and looked at the articles, it seems that kind of the rules we have are more strict than the rules that were identified within the articles, or at least one or two of them. Okay. So what are the key elements in abstract photography that will earn your votes? Think about it, because now we're about ready to jump into a dozen photographs that are really quite different. Here's what we got. We have 12 of them. So everybody gets 4 votes. We have 2 rounds. We have one where you get 4 votes. And then we go to pick out the final vote where you only have 1 vote. David always keeps track of this. Thank you very much, David. I would like us not just to keep the top 3 necessarily, but also if we have some that are getting a significant number of votes, let's have an honorable mention photo or group of photos as well. Okay.
All righty.
Because we did that before, but I went back and I was looking at the history thing, and about a little while ago, we decided to only have the top three. Okay, here's our, are you seeing it completely now? I never know what you guys are seeing. Here's our 12. Okay, I should.
Yes, yes, we see 12.
So I can get rid of this. And see, I got a problem with this. Move this. And I can get rid of that. And so now you should just see the pictures, right?
Right.
Okay, here we go. Now, I don't know if there's anybody that's actually new to this, but this is the way we'll work this. I will show you each of these photographs for, I don't know, 30 seconds or more, and then I'll come back and show you all of them. And then I'll do it one more time, and you have a vote that you do through the chat room that you send directly to David when you get 4 votes. Here's number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Number 10. Number 11. And number 12. Okay, there are the 12 photos. I'm going to show them to you once more. So if you can get down and say, oh, I got these 5, or I like these 6, or whatever, this will give you a little help with this, and I'll call out the numbers for each of them. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Number 10. Number 11. Number 12. There you go. All 12 of them, you have the chance to vote for 4 of them. Send it to David. And when you send it through the chat room, it should just go to David, not to everybody. And I think this is a classic example of monthly theme. And every time pictures like this come in, I think, oh, wow, everybody sees things quite a bit different, at least some of the recent ones. If you are new to this voting, remember to put the numbers, like it could be 1, comma, 1, 0, comma, 1, 2, comma, so that it makes it easy for David to figure out what's coming in. Once we find out the 3, 4, 5 photos that have gotten the significant number of votes, we'll go back and critique each of the photos that aren't in that group so that everybody gets some informational feedback on their photo. How's it coming, David?
I think people are having trouble voting. So it's going kind of slow.
They're very different kinds of pictures, very different. Oops, no, gotta stay there.
Okay. I haven't gotten one for a while, so here we go.
So you're gonna tell me just the top 3, 4, or 5 that you want me to pick out on.
I'm going to tell you the top 5.
Oh, top 5, okay.
So we got a bunch of ties here.
Oh, we're used to that.
1.
Okay.
4. 6. 10 and 12.
Okay. All righty. 1, 4, 5. So now we'll give feedback.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. And 9.
And 9.
Like I said, we got a bunch of ties. Sorry.
So that's 6. That's 6.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll vote on those 6, but you only get 1 vote on them. Okay, so let's deal with the others. Feedback on this one. What do you like or not like? What would you change?
I think it's a great picture. I'm not positive it fits our definition of abstract.
Why is it not abstract?
Is it the ball on a roof?
Looks like it's on a deck, right?
Or, yeah.
Snow. I mean, I don't think the fact that you know what it is bad, but
I almost think this fits into our negative space theme.
Right.
Which, it's very isolated. You don't immediately maybe know what it is, but then you're like, oh, look at that. Somebody left it here and it got frosty overnight.
Anything else?
I think it would make a good patterns photo. There's lots of patterns in that between the
without
shadows and the lines of the deck.
Mm-hmm.
So because you know what is in that ball that's in there, that makes it non-abstract.
We're all struggling with what an abstract photograph is. I mean, to me, that's kind of what ruins it as an abstract for me. And I think whoever said the shapes, just the patterns and the shapes, maybe even without the ball, doing something with the patterns and shapes might have worked better as an abstract. I don't know, I'm just struggling here, so.
That's okay.
Because our brains immediately go to ball on a surface with a shadow. But it's a compelling photograph, but maybe it's too literal and not quite abstract enough. I don't know.
I think, yeah, that's well said, Charlotte.
It's interesting that how we define what an abstract is.
But we're not doing a very good job.
No. I don't mean that. I mean that unlike maybe black and white or wildlife, there's a very clear, this is what this is. Abstract really, see that this is my picture, and I think it is an abstract, but I could see as we were going through defining what it was that maybe many people will not see it as abstract, that it would be like abstract painting where it doesn't have any, I don't want to say purpose, but no real theme to it. Okay, let's look at this one. What do you think of this one?
I feel like abstracts should have more solid shapes, and this has leading lines, but I think
it's a lovely photograph.
What do you like about it, David?
Well, I just like it. It's soft, and as Charlotte said, all the lines in it. It does grab me though that it's probably a flower. So, yeah.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not.
I can't figure out what it is. It almost looks like an insect part.
Or a dog. It looks like a dog.
A dog?
The eyelash.
His chin.
It's cat whiskers.
Oh,
really?
I was close.
See, that to me meets the definition of abstract because nobody knew what it was. I don't know. I thought it was great.
No, I think it definitely meets the definition, and I think it's a great photograph. So, although I did think it was a flower.
Well, that makes it even more abstract.
I voted for it, Penny. So just so you know.
Thank you. Thank you. My cat will appreciate that.
It's interesting. Now that I know what it is, I'm even more impressed with the photo. Yeah.
Yes, because they don't hold still, those little critters.
Oh boy, no, they don't stay. It's
very, very creative, very creative.
Yeah.
And I like the lines on the lower left. And then there's this, how would I describe it? Piece that comes through from the top left to the bottom right.
Oh, it looks like a corona. Yeah.
Yeah. And then at the upper right hand, there's much more strings attached, kind of.
Well, okay, before you leave that one.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I have one other comment.
Okay.
If it hadn't been in black and white, would you have thought it was more abstract?
I struggled with that. I almost sent both and made Randy pick it, but yeah.
I'm just curious what it would look like in color, because then you'd be going, oh, look at all these different colors and lines and stuff.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
All right.
I actually think it would be better in black and white because you don't think about the colors. It's just the lines that lead you to the top.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking in terms of an abstract where so many abstracts have just a lot of color. So
yeah.
Okay, what about this one?
I love that one. I voted for it.
And that definitely is an abstraction, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, Gigi, what did you definitely like about it?
I just like the shapes. You know, I thought the shapes were really compelling. The white and the black, you know, leaning from the left to the right. I just thought it was really interesting. I think I know what it is. I think it's a building, right?
Did you think about what it was?
Well, it occurred to me that it was a building, but that wasn't important. I mean, what was important about it was the shapes, the black and the white, and you know, the patterns on the page, and it's very dynamic. And that's why I said I don't think it matters that you know or don't know what it is, but I think there's something else about the picture that grabs you. I guess maybe that was what I was trying to say very badly back at the beginning.
and the photographer had to have a wonderful vision to find this picture.
Yeah,
they really had to have a good eye.
Who took it?
That's mine, Kathy. Thank you for your positive comments. It's actually a parking garage at the hospital where I used to work at.
Yeah, I love the photo.
All the dots kind of get me away from trying to figure out what it is. It's just the shapes. I think there was Gigi was talking about that she likes the shapes. I like the shapes too.
You know, I wonder if you darken the dark areas even more to where it's just more pure shape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like it the way it is personally.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to play with.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. 7.
This one's very painterly.
What do you mean painterly?
I don't know what I mean. That's just a term artists throw around a lot. No, I'm just kidding. But it is a hard thing to describe. But in the painting world, they have this term loose and tight, which tight is very realistic and loose is more impressionistic. So I would say, and they typically use loose as more painterly. So this one looks like a very loose impressionistic painting of a flower. It's very pretty.
It is actually pretty detailed though. You can get the little, see the little hairs.
Right, but it's not like hyper detailed like what we were talking about focus stacking earlier. Yeah, looks like somebody hit the diffusion slider or something.
Yeah, I really like this photo. I knew exactly what it was, but I just absolutely love the colors in that.
Yeah.
Contrast of colors is really interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I like it too.
It's interesting because this isn't, this one really aren't I don't want to say abstract, aren't unreal enough. You know what they are.
Right.
Yeah, you could probably make an argument that that one is more macro than abstract, but I loved it too.
Mm-hmm.
The articles that I read, I think every one of them talked about to make it abstract, you can go by making it macro.
Really?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
now
maybe
you
if
kind of hold it against them if it is macro.
maybe if you didn't have the green part in there, just the flower part, the petals,
Yeah.
it would be more abstract.
It is interesting. Okay, what about this one?
Neat.
This should have been in the icicle Thursday photo topic that I put in a week or two ago. No, I love taking pictures of these things, and I have to say, as my earlier comment, in my mind, this is a lot of what I thought abstracts to me were, the natural abstracts, looking at shapes and colors and texture, and so I really like the photo.
So
But
David,
you don't think it's abstract?
Well, by that definition, yeah, you immediately know what this is.
you know what, I would suggest that you cut off the icicles at the bottom and go all the way up to the blue ice with the little bubbles in it. I think that would make a wonderful abstract.
Yeah, I was just holding something up to crop it like that.
Yeah.
I like it like that. And I think it's abstract like that. I mean, I took about 24 pictures of something like this outside of our house. But then I think, okay, do I aim it up, or do I turn it to the left or the right to take away that it's dripping off my roof? But I really like this one. I like the colors of it, the white, just white, and the blue that's being reflected from the sky. I like this one.
Yeah, no, I like it too.
I agree. I take pictures of ice all the time. I don't know what I'll ever do with them, but I take them.
And it's kind of three colors, a three-color abstraction: black and white and blue shades of, and shades of blue.
You know, and to play off a little bit of what Gigi was saying, if you did the top, if you just did the ice themselves, or you could play with this so much, because like there's a part of it almost looks like a horse's head or a seahorse or something.
Oh yeah, right in here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you could turn it so it wouldn't be as obvious as
what happens if you do it
this way? Yes.
It looks like a swordfish.
Yeah, it does.
Ooh. Oh yeah, you could put it sideways and cut off the other icicle.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
There we go.
Oh, it does look like a swordfish there.
Much better.
Yeah, if you cut off that bottom one, oh man. Yeah.
But my question is it abstract?
It is now.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a second. Let's see here. Okay, this one. Because then we got to get out and vote.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry. I hit the wrong button. Okay. Penny, what do you love about it?
Just the movement. It's very watercolory.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know what it is, but I don't know. I'm not good with words. It's cool.
What do you think it is?
Trees. Aspens.
Aspens with snow in the background?
Yep. Is it? Who took it?
Oh, I took it, and it is exactly.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's
the longer that you look at it, the more interesting it becomes.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, and you know, Randy, did we get to see it this size when we were voting?
Yeah. Because we go through it like this.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think it's up to you can like hang on the wall and look at for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give us down to 1. Now remember, guys, this is 1, 4, 6, 9. 1, 4, 6, 9, and make sure I got this right.
10 and 12.
10 and 12. And now you only get 1 vote.
But you're renumbering them, right?
Yeah, they will be renumbered.
Are you going to renumber them?
Yeah, it just automatically renumbers them. Filter rated 1. Wait a second. Oh, 1. There it is. Okay, now I got to get this down, this down. Okay, now you've only have one vote. So let me show you these one at a time. Now, yeah, when you vote, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not the numbers they were before. So don't count on what you wrote down before. Here's number 1. Here is number 2. Here is number 3. Here is number 4. Five. And number 6. I'll show you all of them and then I'll do it again.
And we're only voting for one, correct?
Well, you only vote for one. You can't give half a vote. It's got to be one vote. And remember, this is 1 through 6. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3.
Oh,
Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. All righty.
It must be a struggle out there because I don't get very many votes.
You got to decide, guys.
Okay.
It is a struggle.
How many people do we have online?
14.
14, I think it is.
Okay. Oops. All right. We still got a vote or two coming in, I think.
So this time we've got 3 honorable mentions. I think this is a little better because now we actually can give those people those photos more feedback. David, you ready to give me the honorable mentions?
I am not. I think,
oh, wow.
I'm double checking here because
that's a good idea. We don't want anybody to sue us about this.
Wow.
Is it close?
How many people do we have online?
14, I think it is.
Oh, okay. All right. Then we got the right number of votes. Okay, you're gonna love this. We got a three-way tie for first.
Oh, gosh.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So what do you want? The top 5 or the top 3 or what?
I would say we could have 3 first place, a second place, a third place, and an honorable mention. But that's
well, that's everybody.
Oh, there's a tie for second place too.
Oh yeah.
Well, there are 14 people and 12 images, so it.
Yeah, this is pretty funny.
But David and I don't vote.
Yeah, well, okay. Here, I tell you what we're going to do. We can say we've got 3 first place, 2 seconds, and an honorable mention. I don't know. What do you want to do?
We have 3 first places, 2 second places, and 1 third place.
What do we got?
That's everybody.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Everyone's a winner.
Everybody's a winner. We're a bunch of snowflakes.
Okay, who's in third place?
Honorable
number
mention.
1.
Pardon?
Number 1.
Okay, so this is 2. Okay, what do you guys like about this one?
You just did number. You're going to run out of.
No, I'm going to go 2, 3, 4.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I had a brain fade there. All right.
Okay. What do you guys think about this one?
Great, beautiful.
I knew it was snow, but the shapes are so intriguing. I'd love to have it on my wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and they got the sparkle. That was the question from the meeting last time, right? How do you get the sparkle?
Yeah, that was my question. And it does have the sparkle on it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I love this one. And I don't know who took it. Was it
Tim Cully took it.
Tim? Have you ever been in Dave Brookover's gallery?
No, I haven't.
You got to go downstairs. he has your picture. No, Dave,
right? He's got.
Dave shoots a lot of shapes of snow, and I do too. I love this picture. So
Got great curves.
Yeah. But he has one that's called Picasso Blinked, which is, a shape in the snow, and it's really pretty. And yours is also.
Thank you. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
I like it, and I like the sparkles, and I like that there's that, it's kind of a triangle, but it's not completely a triangle in the left-hand side there. One change I would suggest, but that probably other people won't see it necessarily this way, is to edit the lower side and the right side so that where that gray line comes down to the corner, that it would go right into the corner. I'm just I like following lines to corners, and I think that would add a little bit to it.
Randy, I like doing that too, but a lot of people do not like lines going into corners.
Actually, what I did is I tried to match the upper right-hand corner.
I think that works great.
Yeah.
And it frames it.
It works for me too. Are any of you all from the camp?
Me too. You're outvoted.
You lose.
Today I've been outvoted over and over again.
Tim, you can almost pass this off as a nude. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
that's a belly button there.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's very sensual. I think
Yeah.
if it wasn't sparkling snow, it could easily be a human figure. I just think it's very sensual.
Yeah, my term for it was going to be voluptuous.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, we've got two.
We know where this group's going.
That's our third place. So now we have 2 second places, right?
That's correct.
Okay, give me one of the second places so I can put 3 stars.
4 and 5.
4 and oops. Gotta go down here a little bit. Oh, wait a second. Okay, so these are 3.
No, wait a minute.
No.
What have you done?
4 and 5.
4 and 5.
Not 6.
Okay. Feedback. What do you like about 4?
I just love the chaotic, edgy feel to it. It's electrifying, and the color is just eye-popping.
Yeah.
Yeah, and boy, it defies finding a subject there, but it makes your heart pick up.
And but it does have, like, down in the lower left-hand corner, edges. There's an edge to it. If it didn't have that, I don't think I would like it as much. That there's an end. The other thing is it looks like there's a screen or something that's part of it, in which
it creates texture.
Yeah, and I think, what is that?
What is it?
I'm not sure.
Who took it?
I did.
Ah.
And it is the screen. It was my fireplace.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you just tap the camera, or did you move it deliberately?
This is a 3-second exposure. And so I was shooting the flames, and it really bugged me that mesh was in front of it. So I kind of went nuts on it. And then the mesh is everywhere in there.
It is, yeah.
So you moved the camera, Sue?
Oh, yeah.
I did in those 3 seconds. I think I tilted it 90 degrees up and then 90 degrees down.
Huh.
And so those red streaks through there are actually the embers.
Huh.
Why the green and blue? I mean, the other is clearly a fire, but now that you mention it, but what's the green and blue?
I just super saturated it.
Oh.
And so I don't know why something had green in it and had blue in it, but otherwise it was kind of an ashy gray. So I decided to go vivid.
Oh, cool. No, I think that really adds to it.
Yeah.
If it had been just gray, it would have kind of wasted space.
Right.
That would be great as a series.
Oh, yeah.
Similar photographs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I'm in biology class. I really like it. But it's like one of those cell, like a cool cell slide from biology class.
I was going to say the same thing. It just reminds me of looking under the microscope in school and looking at cells, blood cells and fat cells and everything. I really liked it.
The word paramecium.
Abstract as well.
Yeah.
The word paramecium comes to mind.
Mm-hmm. I like all of the different textures in there.
Yeah.
And the fact it's also, some things are very flat, and then over toward the left-hand side, those little circles are 3-dimensional.
Yes.
Who did it?
Here, right here?
Yes.
Yeah, and the bottom right too.
And then there's the big one in the center too.
Yeah.
This, because of all the scratches, makes me think more of it being mechanical than biological.
Is that oil?
I'm not going to ask the person to tell me right away, but I just kept thinking, what would it be? Why would I see all those scratches if it's not metal or something like that?
Right.
Well, maybe we'll find out what it is.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I think it's oil on metal.
Interested in it.
I think it's oil on metal.
Yeah.
The big
oil,
reveal.
yeah.
The big reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Becky's very close. It's oil on water inside a pan.
Wow.
And
Really?
What's a pan?
yeah.
In a pan?
Yep. I got to tell
A
you,
really
I like
scratched up pan.
well, you know, it doesn't appear that, I mean, I really turned the texture up so that the bottom of the pan looks very scratchy, but I like to cook, and I can't tell you how many times I wish I had cameras just sitting over pans.
It could be your new abstract genre.
Yeah, well, I got to say, I've wanted to shoot oil on water for so long, and I went, this is my chance. And also, I don't know if anybody ever saw the original album cover for Pink Floyd's Metal. So anyhow, it's an album before Dark Side of the Moon.
So David, why is it so perfectly round?
What, the oil drops?
Oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I let them sit there. I took a bunch of photos. You know, they do, if once you let them settle down, they form very round globules, and then they start to attract each other, and eventually will coalesce into one if you sit there long enough. But yeah, but what you're seeing is some of it's the reflections on the bottom of the pan, and some of it is the actual oil drop on top of the on the water.
David, what kind of lens did you use to take this?
I've got a zoom 24-105.
Okay, it wasn't a macro or anything.
No, it's a pretty extreme crop, actually. I actually, just on this one image, I had like 3 or 4, and my son happened to be here, and he walked through and I went, which one of these you like? He goes, yeah, that one looks like the Pink Floyd album.
David, what did you have in mind when you chose this category? Because you seem so excited about it.
Well, I got to say, okay, Randy mentioned the original Peer Mentor group, and I stole a line from Ghostbusters when people asked me what I like to shoot. But there was a line in Ghostbusters where this woman asked one of the Ghostbusters, do you have a hobby? And he goes, I collect spores, mold, and slime. And I went, I tend to shoot things like that. And so I picked this because I just like shooting shapes and colors and textures and things that we all walk by and don't notice. So, and I am excited about it. I've loved some of these photos and some of the comments, because it is what, to me, I don't know who was on the meeting, the monthly meeting, but somebody asked about contest rules and what's allowed. And I mean, personally, to me, as long as you're honest about what you're shooting, and you're, well, for a contest, you need to be within the rules. But from a photography standpoint, I think anything goes. It's art, and you can do anything you want as long as it doesn't violate either a contest rule or you're not lying about it. You know, like Peter Lick, when he tells people he shot this moon in a certain place and there's no way in hell it could have been there. So, but that's another story. So yeah, I really do like stuff like this. I'd like to.
Okay, I'm going to try to get us out of here at 8:30. So I'm going to
I'll stop talking.
pick this one. What do you think about this one?
I love that one.
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
It's like a psychedelic strawberry.
Yes, it is.
It's surreal. How is that done?
Yeah, I saw that in college one time.
I'm a person that likes colors, and I love this one.
Yeah.
That's a great image.
Yeah.
And all the patterns and the drops.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And notice all of those drops have the same pattern on it. It just may be circled to a different side. This is Lewis's. He has gone crazy about this. He has built a place in his house to take these pictures because he went to like a class that was about a month long, met once a week for 2 or 3 hours. But he's got dozens of pictures like this that are just like, whoa, amazing to me.
So Lewis isn't on though, is he?
He isn't here. He's in Canada now taking pictures of bears.
Oh, wow.
Well, okay, so did he tell you what this is?
Yeah, I mean, what he's got is this, I don't know how to describe it. I could send you the email or the video that this guy put together that he learned from.
Well, okay, but what is it?
Those are drops of oil, or no, those are drops of water between 2 pieces of glass. And someplace, see this right here, look at this one. See this?
Yeah.
That's underneath the glass, there's like 3 layers of glass. And at the bottom layer is something probably that takes this. And then all these drops are in between the 2 pieces of glass. And I'm not sure about this green piece here.
Well, that's also on the balls. They're the
Oh yeah.
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
So it's on some of them.
Some of them, yeah.
Well, because it's a different angle because of where he put the camera.
And I'm sure that when he gets back in a couple, 3 weeks, he'll be glad to share with you because he's asked me about half a dozen times, oh, come on over, I'll show you how to do this. And I said, no, I got some other things I got to get done.
Is it oil drops or water drops? Or
I think it's water drops.
Water drops. So they're the glass
between 2 pieces of glass, and then the glass kind of scrunches them out, I think.
Well, I would think it would really scrunch them out. There's got to be something that separates it a little bit.
I don't think he squeezed the glass together, or it would come out this way.
No, but the droplets inside of it touch both pieces of glass, I think. But I'll be glad. I mean, you guys are really interested. I'm sure he would be glad to share with you what it is that he's built and how it works.
Please do. Please do.
If you look at the bottom right-hand corner, it almost, in the background, it almost has that same texture as what's you see on the drops. However he does it, I don't know how he does it, but it has that.
Well, the upper left too.
Yeah, the upper left too.
Inside the green.
I mean, obviously there's some.
Have him give a presentation.
I know.
I will. I'll send him a text message tomorrow. He is so psyched about this. He's invited me over half dozen times. Oh, Randy, you got to see how this works. Okay, it would probably be 3 or 4 hours, but I've seen a whole bunch of them that he's got, and they're just amazing. It's like, God, what is that? And how did he get that? And he'd be glad to share that with us, I'm sure. Okay, so there's one. So he will be not involved in the decision of which one it is. This one I had a hell of a time with today. I'm really glad that we figured out what was going wrong, or at least could overcome it. What do you think about this one, guys?
Love it.
I really like this one.
Love it.
Yep.
It's riveting. And that's one of those, what is it?
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't have a clue what it is or how it was done, but I can't wait to hear. Yeah, and it's gonna. Yeah.
Sorry.
So, go ahead.
I was going to say it looks like a straw hat.
Oh, but, yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
It looks like there's movement in there, though. It almost reminds me of a grinder wheel or a saw blade coming out of water or something.
Yeah, it could be so many things. Yeah.
I like this one because it looks like an abstract sun coming up, but when I look at it, I know it's not like that. It's like something you'd put on a table that you'd put a coffee pot on or something like that. But that's not important. It looks like the sun, and then the background with all the triangles in it and stuff.
Yeah.
It could be the back end of a jet turbine engine.
Ah.
There you go.
Thought it looked like yarn.
I like the lack of color. I mean, you know, in other words, there's not a ton of colors, but so the center is absolutely riveting. And then that soft kind of gray teal, it's about all you see.
Right, they're great complementary colors.
Yeah.
And
I like the balance.
V's.
Yep.
Right.
I like the balance and how it centers itself in that bottom U-shaped V that complements the top round.
It's beautiful. Who did it?
Okay, so you guys aren't even close. That is a multiple exposure of a grapefruit section.
Oh
my God.
What? Out.
Wow.
Okay, Tim, you get an award for that.
Yeah.
Wait, whose is this?
Tim's.
That's mine. Yeah, that's 10 exposures, moving the camera from kind of spinning the camera.
Okay, that makes sense.
Of a section of grapefruit, and I used actually I used Jimmy Chin's book as a background. So it's kind of it's a macro shot. And this is the one that came out the best, which wasn't the one I was thinking was going to, but yeah, I like how it kind of the whole thing spins.
Right.
Wait a minute. You say it's a section of a grapefruit?
Yeah, it's just one section of a grapefruit.
Like an eighth, or did you cut it in half and turn it?
No, just one segment.
Wedge?
Yeah.
Okay. I got it now. I see. I got it.
I know.
Yeah.
Never would have guessed that.
Tim, this is true abstract.
Yes,
I mean,
it really is.
if you had given me get 10, 100 guesses, I would never have thought of a grapefruit.
Well, this is one of those things that probably everyone's camera does, but you just never use it. So it's probably one of those things buried in your camera thing that you can do multiple exposures right in camera, and it combines them for you. So it's kind of fun to play with. I've done it with flowers outside too.
Wow.
And it's just a question of having a tripod collar on the camera and then just spinning the camera without actually spinning the lens, if that makes sense.
No.
Well, I'm so glad that I called you so we could get this on.
Yeah.
That was driving me nuts. Wow, that's so different. Okay, here is our other number one. Whoops, wait a minute. Okay. What do you think about this one? It doesn't look like a grapefruit.
Yeah.
I love
I want to go watch 2001 again.
Space Oddity.
No, Odyssey.
Odyssey.
Space
It looks
Odyssey
like-
was David Bowie.
Yeah.
It looks like the eye of an owl, but I think it was done by zooming something, right?
Yeah,
Part of
that
the
would be
flower.
my guess.
I was thinking it was zooming from a gas on a
Oh, a gas stove?
yeah.
Oh.
I think the different colors in that, they're really soft. It's just mysterious, and I just want to go through there. I want to jump in whatever that is and find out. It's like there's going to be an alternate reality on the other side.
Yeah, it's like I said, it reminds me of all those big eye shots on 2001 at the end. But I don't know what it is.
I like that it has all the different colors, but
Yep.
they're not here and there and everywhere. There's a pattern to it that makes me think, what is that pattern? Is it the stove? Somebody's eye? The person who took it is here and she can explain it.
It was me, Becky.
Oh.
And it was actually, we have a very, very old rotting wood wagon wheel, and it's the center of the hub of that wagon wheel. And I did do a kind of a fast zoom out on it. And there was, you can see where there's rust around the edges there on the inside. And the black cracks are the cracks in the wood. And then I just, in Lightroom, just dehazed it. And all of a sudden these colors came up.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, cool picture.
Yeah.
Peggy, that's the second time you've done something like that. The other time it was like a ceiling light or something like that, that you did.
Yeah.
Kind of something similar to that.
Yeah.
Well, it's fabulous. Matter of fact, all of them were fabulous. So, but.
Thank you.
These are.
You should print that.
We had some of the most interesting pictures that we've seen.
6 truly abstract pictures. Yes. And I will put them on Facebook tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I will put them into, I'm really glad we went to having honorable mention. I mean, that we have all these ties, that makes it even better. But to talk a little bit about what these are, trying to think of how I should ask people when they first look at the pictures, what do you take time to think about what you think this is, and then take a look at what I wrote about it, because wow.
I can't wait to put these all in the snapshot, because I am going to mention that I know what all of y'all did in the 60s.
Well, I think we have some people here who are 60s is a little too far back.
I have two comments.
Sure.
Two comments. The first is, this was the toughest judging a group of photos to judge that I've come across yet with our group, you know, to try to cull through and get down to things. And I think the fact that we have as many ties as we have at this level attests to that. And the other thing, it's just kind of an odd, interesting observation. It would be interesting if next month's theme was abstracts. You know, with all the great discussions we've had here and whatever, what would come of that? So, but I know we're not going to do that, but just something to think about.
Yeah.
Well,
I will say this, I wasn't joking. I've never seen this much time taken for people to vote.
Oh, not even close.
Yeah.
All right. So Tim and Becky, I've got something that you've got to do.
Well, you got 3 people.
No, because Lewis isn't here. He's in Canada.
All right, we'll kick him out.
I kidded him. I said we don't have bears on the list. Okay, Tim and Becky.
Becky, I'll let you go for it.
I was just going to say that to you. Or actually, what I was going to say is can Tim and I talk amongst ourselves and then let Randy know?
Sure. But there's a big but with this. Not a B-U-T-T, but a B-U-T. Then if I let you do this, I'm your teacher here. If I'm going to let you do this, then you've got to send me some articles. Because lately, some of the people that have made the choice didn't send me the articles, and I have to go out and look for them. And that doesn't bother me, because I always try to go out and look for them anyhow. But think about what it is you want and send me that. And then I try to do that within the next day or two, because I try to include that in the piece that I put on the TPC website. Let people know about what it is right away, but pretty soon. Okay.
I'll call you when we hang up here, Tim.
Okay, sounds good, Becky.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And if the two of you had something different, I mean, there's the 22 of them. I suppose I could leave that up, but that becomes a little bit of a problem. But yeah. I thought this was a really good meeting. We had lots. That's one of the things I wanted to put in to encourage you all to answer my question that I'm going to send tomorrow. What is it that helps you? I mean, the difference in people, if I've been here forever, but some of you are new, some of you have been here forever, some of you it's been 4 or 5 years, but a lot of changes and some really good photography that's happened. Why did that happen? What did the peer mentor group do to help you to become a better photographer? So I can send that to other people and they realize that it would be in their best interest to join us when we ever have our own room that we can go to. Good meeting tonight. Really good meeting. I really liked it.
Yeah, I just want to echo what Randy said. I mean, I know I picked the topic, but I thought the photos were great and people really kind of stepped out of the let's shoot another buffalo. So
yeah, I mean, I think for me, you know, when Randy was asking kind of how this has helped you, it's really, for me, helped me to kind of expand the creative way I look at things. When I first picked up a camera, I was out shooting mountains and rivers and trees, and I never in a million years would have tried something like this. And so it's that combination of saying, here's the topic, here are some articles about it, has really made this a lot of fun, and it's pushed me as well.
I feel the same way, Sue. I would never have thought of doing macro work or doing abstract photos, or it's just fun when someone picks one of those and it's like, oh no. But then when you read it and start doing something, I mean, this one, I could stay at home and take a whole bunch of pictures. It was nice.
These topics stretch us, and they also keep our cameras out of the camera bags and using them.
That they do, Charlotte, that they do. And it's not just, well, wait till the last few days before the meeting. It's, you start doing it as soon as you find out what the theme is. At least I do.
The whole month you're looking for the theme photograph.
Yeah. And I have to say, I had something in mind right off the bat, and I never liked it, and I threw them all in the trash. So, but then I went, I like shooting food. So I'm going to shoot these damn oil drops that I observe every time I make pasta. So
it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did work.
But yeah, I thought they were all great. I mean, I'd be happy to hang most of those on my wall. So yeah, good job, everyone. And hey, Randy, thanks for doing all this. So.
Oh, it takes a lot of time, but it's fun time to see people grow and get better, and to be a little bit of, oh, I want to see if I can get a little bit better at this myself. And the variety of themes really, really helped. I really agree with what Sue said about that.
And I do have one thing to say. For everybody who submitted a photo on this, y'all really need to be on the post-processing night. So we'll give you some photographs to mess with and see what you can do with them. You can really get out of the box. So.
All righty. Okay, looks like we've lost about 3 or 4 people already. I will get in touch with everybody, probably not tomorrow, but maybe by Saturday. Oh no, by Friday, as long as I get the information from Tim and Becky. I'm looking forward to a really new, different type of topic for us to talk about next week. Great job tonight, really. Some of the best pictures we've had in quite a long time, different kind of pictures in a long time. All righty. Good night, guys.
All right. Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Good night.